Welcome to the Game Dev Log for my 2020 Global Game Jam project, the Note Competition. It's a fast-paced game that involves collecting resources to repair your hideout faster than your competition. There's also a note-sending mechanic that you use to recruit teammates. So let's get to the process on how this was made. We saw the theme earlier than usual from social media, so we got thinking about ideas earlier. The theme for this year was repair. We were determined to make this a competition of some kind, similar to some of those old Metabots games, or the Pokemon trading card game. At first, we thought about making the idea be about paper people and having some kind of emblem collecting system. Then we came up with the idea of repairing the party place in Party Sanctuary worlds, since we would often have story moments where it would be destroyed. We wanted to include home bases that you were trying to destroy, and in the meantime, repair your own. We decided to base this on the Note Competition, which is a competition where the Nays would have their own home bases and pass notes to each other. We never fleshed out the mechanics of that game in our story, so this was our chance to do that. We had a lot of inspirations for this one, so we put together a mood board. We started off as usual. My brother set up the project file in RPG Maker, while I started on the sprite art. I started with a walk animation of our main character, JRTR. I kept the style pretty cartoony with bright colors, which was similar to a lot of our inspirations. Then I made an enemy sprite animation for Kai, who is JRTR's first opponent in the competition. I imported the sprites into the game to make sure it was all working at the end of the night. In the meantime, my brother was laying the groundwork for a basic inventory system. It uses variables to check which item you picked up and visually displays the icon in the corner. The next day, we didn't start until after dinner because we spent time with our family during the day. We started by working on the health bars for the battle system. So then we got the whole battle system layout figured out. Then I took a break from programming to draw battle portraits of Kai and JRTR. Their mood changes depending on how well they're doing in the battle, similar to Kirby's Avalanche. During that time, my brother was working on some of the mechanics with a new movement plugin. He made resources spawn in random locations, added spawn animations, and limited it so that only 5 resources exist at a time. He also implemented a system so that the resource you're touching is set to the current item. Then I started to work on the story aspects of the game, which was mostly the opening. I got some mock-up text boxes working for the dialogue. I also implemented the whole note system, where you make dialogue choices to determine if your friends will join your team. Grano's the only one we had time to implement, and he joins by default. But his note changes, line by line, depending on the choices that you make when you write your note. I also made use of a plugin that pins text boxes to the screen, so that I could save the player's choices to build their own custom note. Then I made some more character sprite assets of Galu and Grana. My brother worked on the repairing mechanic and got that working. Then he switched to work on the art. He worked on the UI, made a background for the party place, and then the hideout and resources sprites. I made the title screen animated using a plugin. I also added the end credits that was themed using all of the assets we made. Then we got to playtesting and implementing the final touches. When we were finally testing out the whole battle, it ended up being pretty fun. And with that, we finished the Global Game Jam project. This one ended up being our shortest demo project, as we only had time to add one fight. But we laid out the foundations and focused on making it fun instead of story intensive like we usually do. So it was definitely different from normal. We didn't get a lot of our wishlist mechanics done, like emblems you collect, hideout upgrades, or more team members that you recruit. I even programmed some of the emblem menus that never made it into the final game. But we made sure the fight we did implement was really polished, so that's what really matters most. That's it for this time. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.